came from the pain and made it out of Banner. Drove and see the nightlife where they call Atlanta. Southside shows for a couple dollars, yeah, yeah.
And we are here. Sorry about that little awkward pause. This is week 4 of Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party podcast. Episode 78 of the Brew Party is here with our favorite guest, the one and only Ryan Maloney, Mr. 8-0, coming off a red hot, undefeated week 3. Your week 3 winner is Ryan Maloney at that 8-0 clip. Holy shit. He pulls out the against the spread stats last week and apparently is just the best gambler of all time. Ryan, so happy to have you here. This is your chance to gloat and tell us about your just undefeated week, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It's crazy what some stats can do, although I'm pretty sure last week I made my picks and then gathered stats to back them up. But, sometimes you just get hot. You make those right picks, and it's a great week, 8-0. I don't know if we've had an 8-0 week yet, but maybe last year. I think
you might have did it last year. I got to go back and check the records, which I don't have in front of me right now, but I'll do that after the show. But first undefeated week of season 2.
Yeah, and I mean, even more impressive that it was all NFL. I stuck to one league, didn't go to college, so I felt great. It feels good to go 8-0.
Well, I mean, I remember I was at work for the early games on Sunday, and I was feeling pretty good about, my bets at the beginning because most of them were looking great. Well, not great, but most of them were looking okay. They were covering for the majority of the game, and then but I'm looking at yours, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, we get through the early slate, you're 3-0. We're at the afternoon games. I'm like, okay, he's got a legit chance to do this. Get through there, 7-0. We're relying on Dallas. Of course, that's the Monday night game. Brew has to make his pick. I'm hoping to God before we record that he picks the fucking Cowboys because I was like, I cannot fade Ryan this week. He's 7-0. Brew does pick the Cowboys. They win by a fucking mile. 8-0 for your boy. Awesome week. Congratulations, my friend. Glad we could get you some winners because it was a rough start for you, a much needed week. Speaking of incredible gamblers that are better than me, my dog Brew, if you haven't been following along, you need to. We drop a video of him making a pick for every NFL primetime game. He is now 8-2 against the spread on the year. He's won 5 straight. This dog cannot fucking miss. Every time he does something new, like this last video, he wouldn't even look at me. I told him to grab the treat. He walked out of frame and just off and came over to thought I wanted to pet him, which I mean, I always love giving him boops and pets, but Jesus Christ, Brew, we're making some content here.
It's going to his head.
Yeah, it is. I swear to God, half the time he's fucking with me. Almost every time he knows what he's doing. Ends up picking the Jaguars last night. They covered the spread. And the rest is history. So look out for his videos on Sunday and Monday night. Hopefully he brings us more winners, and hopefully you and I can keep bringing the winners. So let's update each other's records here. Update the our listeners and our watchers, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. We do appreciate that. Or if you're listening to us, letting us penetrate your ears on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts, or just go to www.thebrewparty.com. We do thank you for following along this craziness, for following along. I want to say our bad picks, but after our week last week, we really can't. I mean, I can say my picks were bad, but that is not an adjective we can use for Ryan. So let's get into the records like I just teased. So overall for season 2, Ryan and I have a combined record of 29, 22, and 1. If we break that down individually, I am sitting at 14 and 12 plus 0.88 units. So if you were to put $100 on each one of my bets throughout the first 3 weeks of the season, you would be up. I have $87.97. And if you were to put $100 on all of Ryan's bets, who currently sits at 15, 10, and 1 after that big 8-0 week, is plus 3.8 units, you'd be up $380.80. So, I mean, Ryan broke it down in this little text he sent me. It's like, I lost 5. I mean, the past 2 weeks, I lost 10 fucking games. 5 each of the last 2 weeks. That really hurts because I was up around 300, I think, after week 1. Ryan was actually negative. Now, a huge swing for him. If we break it down, I always like going into our each individual categories here. Ryan is 3-0 when picking underdogs, of course. I think 2 of those were the Miami Dolphins. His overs are 2-0-1. Unders are 2-1. His favorites are 1-2. His locks of the week are 2-1. When picking in the NFL, Ryan is 14-8. A great start for him. Just 1-2-1 in college football. Like I said, 15-10 overall. We go back over to me. So I, 14-12. I had that 6-2 start. Rough couple 2 weeks. I told Ryan off the show that I think I'm just overthinking it. I mean, I'm sure you could tell if you were listening, I'm pouring out stat after stat after stat. I think I'm doing too much. Went back this week, all from the gut, didn't look at any stats, didn't do any research before. This is all out of my brain, so it could be even worse. I pulled a Ryan Maloney and got the stats to back me up after I was done. But we're trying something new. I think I was overthinking it. Overthinking is the worst thing you can do as a gambler. So this fresh, clean slate, we're bringing winners. My favorites are 2-1. My underdogs are 2-1. Overs 1-2. Unders 2-1. My locks of the week are 2-1 as well. I am 13-11 when picking NFL football games this year and 1-1 in college football. So this week, since we are able to record on Friday, we actually have some college football. We have some NFL. It's not all just one sport. We also have something new we have not done before. Our very first Maloney's Moneyline Parlay. We will be dropping that after all of our picks. Check that out. Some nice juice on that one. So before we get into our picks, Ryan, we talked about this last week. Something Bears fans, something the fucking national media has been clamoring for. Justin Fields finally got his first start, and it did not go well. I had the Bears +7. They end up losing 26-6. I was sick fucking watching that game. Justin Fields sacked 9 times. Matt Nagy is dropping 5 linemen into coverage and expecting that to work over half the time against the Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and this insane fucking Cleveland Browns defense. He doesn't roll Justin Fields out at all. Doesn't let him use his feet. There is 99% of me that believes he did this on purpose, Ryan, to make himself look better and to make it be like, oh, I was right. He's not ready. Andy Dalton's the starter. It's just it was the most frustrating thing. To quote you, I'm mad. I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I don't even know, dude. What was your takeaways from that game other than what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough to watch. Obviously, you don't want to see your rookie quarterback getting sacked 9 times in his first start. But, they had months to prepare him and build a game plan around him. They knew Dalton wasn't going to be their starter all year long. Everybody wants Fields to get some experience and get in there. And, they just clearly don't know what the hell they're doing. I want Nagy gone. I don't know when it's going to happen, but probably not for a while. I think they're going to try to make him work just as hard as they wanted Mitch to work. Because, you fire Nagy, then Pace has probably got to go, and just kind of trickles down to everybody and to the point where they should just sell the team. So
absolutely.
I'm just kind of hoping that we can figure something out and turn it around over the next few years, because I really don't want Fields to end up being amazing and then not wanting to re-sign with us because, well, what have we done for him? If we're not going anywhere and have no progression, then why would he sign with us if he's a great quarterback?
Exactly.
So we'll see.
So, I mean, it's just like, and I'm very anti-Nagy. I'm of the belief that they should probably just tear it all down, because I don't think Ryan Pace is without any blame here. I mean, he's the one that mismanaged the cap. He's the one that brought in Nick Foles and is paying him, $30 million. He's the one that brings in Andy Dalton, is paying him $10 million. That's 40 to 50 million. I'm not sure their exact numbers, but it's enough where you got to cut your starting left tackle and your starting cornerback to make room for these two middle-aged washed-up quarterbacks that you don't even know how long they're going to play. It's like Nick Foles is our third-string quarterback, and I think he's making more than any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Nagy's scheme isn't working, whatever he's doing, and his whole shtick with the media, like not wanting to answer questions and all this, is getting so fucking old. So I've heard reports. Obviously, you don't know if these are true or not. You don't know everything you hear on Twitter or the internet. But if they lose to the Lions, like, he could actually be fired. I don't think the Bears have ever fired a coach in the middle of the year. So that would be a first for the franchise. But I mean, I don't know. I don't want them to move to Arlington either. I
do.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, I know you're a lot further from Chicago, but
that's like really close to you.
Well, it's not that much closer to Chicago, but it's like, so we were going to go to the game this week, but it's like, I don't really feel like spending that money to potentially lose to the Lions and watch this terrible offense.
Yeah.
But like in the future, like, it'd be sick, especially if somebody like, Jeff Bezos buys the Bears.
Yeah.
He would build a stadium bigger and better than SoFi, and it would be a dome. We'd be able to host Super Bowls, March Madness. I think it'd be really good. I know I'm in between, because I do love the Bears in Chicago on the lake, but it's like after October, like I don't want to go to games. Like, I don't want to sit there in the freezing cold, but I don't know. We'll see.
That was actually a really good argument. I cannot, you might have sold me on that. It's like, I just love the aspect, like you said, of them like actually, being in Chicago, and the history of Soldier Field, being right on the lake. It does suck though, going to any game after October like 15th, because you're just sitting there and just you got icicles on your fucking ball sack. So yeah, I mean, what do you expect this week? Like, or should we be expecting a win? The Lions have looked kind of frisky so far.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous because, like, going into the season, I was expecting the Lions to be the worst team in the league. But I don't know. I mean, the Bears are looking pretty bad right now.
I mean, it's like, I don't even know how we beat the Bengals.
Yeah,
they look really good now too. It's just, this is going to be interesting. I think Fields has been named the starter for this week. I don't know. I just
could be any of them.
Whatever they do, let him adjust the playbook a little bit. Make it at least look like you're trying, Nagy. Like, it's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And we're consider ourselves pretty diehard fans of this team. And like, it's not often where you love a team so much where they just become fucking unwatchable. And it's like, we've got a rookie quarterback who it's like, we do need to temper our expectations on the kid. But like, there's that performance on Sunday. That's not on Justin Fields.
No, not at all.
Not at all. You can't really take away much from it, because they have one net passing yard because the fucking offensive line is like, it's It's that meme. Remember that security dude that from that concert, or it might have been a baseball stadium or whatever, where he's just like,
I mean, I don't know the
not even
exact.
touching him.
I don't know the exact stat. I saw it on Twitter a few days ago, but it was his average time to get the ball out of his hands was like 0.6 or 7 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, how are you?
No duh, you're gonna get sacked 9 times.
It didn't matter who was back there at that
Uh-huh.
point. You're just gonna get fucking destroyed. By the way, is Myles Garrett, like, did you see that clip of him like shifting, like it looked like the Matrix, or like he was so fast, and the dude's like, I swear I didn't edit this video.
Dude, Myles Garrett said that they pretty much figured out what the Bears were doing after the first drive, and then the Bears never changed.
That's
so they were just having a field day. Like,
this is professional football. This is the NFL, and we're gonna make zero adjustments. What is this? Fucking Scott Frost in Nebraska? Jesus Christ! Pick it up. Nate needs to take off the visor. By the way, he doesn't.
He doesn't deserve it. He's got
all right. That's enough of that. Let's get into our picks. Let's bring the winners. You are our week 3 winner, the week 3 champ, 8-0, riding high. So let's get your first pick of the week, as we always do. Your favorite of the week, Mr. Maloney.
All right, my favorite is going to be the Browns -2 at Minnesota, -110. Browns this year 2-1 against the spread. They're pretty bad last year against the spread, but I just think that I mean, obviously the Browns played the Bears last week, but they look good. They look like they are a solid, put-together team. And you mentioned it last week. It's always fun to root against Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. So,
of course, yes.
I think they can definitely win this game by a field goal.
I don't know if this feels like low, but I guess, Minnesota, the record is 1-2. They were really close in those other games. But God, the Browns have just been so fun to watch. I think Kevin Stefanski is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, especially offensively. I mean, Baker Mayfield's still, I think, leading the league in completion percentage. Only 2 touchdowns though, through 3 games for Baker Mayfield, which is interesting. I mean, the story for both of these teams is the run game. I don't know if Dalvin Cook is healthy, but I mean, last week Madison picked up right where he left off. You have Chubb and Kareem Hunt that are like the 2 highest rated running backs according to PFF in the league right now, which you have, Chubb's 48 carries for 262 and 3 touchdowns. Their leading receiver is Kareem Hunt on the year with 10 receptions for 104 yards, which is interesting. Odell Beckham's back. I don't know if they get Landry. But I love the Browns here. They are also my pick. The Browns -2 is my favorite. I love betting against Kirk Cousins. Just need to do the research, Kirk. So yeah, they're both teams are 2-1 against the spread on the year. Cleveland 10-11 against the spread since the start of last year. You don't love that, but Minnesota's only 8-11. I'm gonna ride that streak. I am going with Cleveland. -2 as well at Minnesota. So we go to our Scooby-Doo underdogs of the week. We're both dipping into the college football world here. Ryan, I'll let you start. I love this pick. It's not on my card, but I'm going to be riding with you here.
Yeah, so my underdog, I'm going Ole Miss +15 at Bama -109. When I got this earlier today, it was at 15. I've seen it pretty much all week, 14.5, but either way, that's a lot of points for this huge game of the week. Bama, obviously, number 1 team. Ole Miss, number 12. Lane Kiffin going back to Tuscaloosa, face Saban. I love Ole Miss here. I think it's a lot of points for this huge game. I know recently Bama's kind of blown Ole Miss out, but they have that history. It's a big rivalry. Obviously, we know you don't get rich betting against Bama, but I love Ole Miss here. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy, yes, sir. I also love Ole Miss here +15. It's just this is a different Ole Miss team. The Lane Train, they're averaging.
It's like the number 1 offense. I'm pretty sure
they're averaging 630 yards of offense. Matt Corral and Bryce Young are the 2 quarterbacks in this matchup. Are the 2 Heisman favorites. This is the first team Alabama's faced that can really attack you on the outside. I think Ole Miss is also going to take a page out of Florida's playbook and try to pound the run. They've got a three-headed monster back there with Snoop Connor, one of the best names in college football. Love that guy, leading that group. But they're averaging like 230 yards a game on the ground. In this matchup last year, the two of the three Ole Miss running backs combined, I believe, for like 250 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns. The blueprint is there. This is going to be a high-scoring game. The total is at 79. I believe that is the highest ever for a college. It's either a college football game or an SEC game. I think an SEC game. But points. Ole Miss's defense is actually better than it has been in recent years. They can make stops. Can they hang with Alabama? That is the question. What's the turnover battle going to look like? I think the Crimson Tide are currently +5 in turnover margin. So if Ole Miss can take care of the ball, I think they have a chance to not only cover, but win this game, Ryan.
Be huge.
Huge. We could see a changing of the guard in the SEC this week.
That would be incredible. And
like
really hope Florida
there is actually a chance that next week, like we see a game day. It's because Arkansas and Ole Miss play next week. If they both win, that could be like a 1 versus 2 or like a 2 versus 4, 1 versus 3 matchup. Yeah. That's like alternate universe type shit right there. So yeah, I love that pick. Ryan is riding with Hottie Toddy +15 at Alabama. I don't have that on my card, but I love the pick. I probably will be betting it. I'm staying in college football. Another underdog here for me. Michigan money line at Wisconsin +102. Feed me that plus sign there. The Wolverines, it's a prove it year for Jim Harbaugh. He needs to have a big year. This is their first big test. They haven't really played anybody last week against Rutgers. They let them hang around. I think Rutgers ended up covering the spread. But I mean, everybody saw what Wisconsin looked like against Notre Dame. It was 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. But then Mertz just absolutely falls apart. He didn't look good at all, really, through any part of the game. He had 4 interceptions. 2 of those were pick sixes. Their offense is fucking terrible. Michigan all-time is 51-17 against Wisconsin. I think they get it done here at Camp Randall and effectively ending the Badgers season on Saturday. I'm taking Michigan money line +102. If you would like to take the spread, I think they're currently +2. Which I get it because Wisconsin's at home, but I don't know. I
think Michigan's the better team by far.
I do too. Thank you for saying that, Ryan. You just make me feel so much better. All right, let's move on to our overs of the week. I just talked about this one, Ryan. But let's tell us why you like it so much.
All right, well, I'm going to go the Ole Miss Bama over 79. Just kind of one of those games where you see that high point total and you have to bet it and just have fun with it.
That point total is staring you in the face and fucking daring you to fucking bet. You think I'm not going to?
So listen to this. So last year, final score between these two teams, 63-48. That's 111 points. Year before that, 2019, 59-31. That's 90 points. 79 sounds easy after those last 2 matchups. So I'm taking this. It's going to be a blast.
I believe the overs are 5-1 in the last 6 in these teams' last 6 meetings. So, I mean, you have to talk about the quarterbacks real quick. You have Corral, 997 yards, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bryce Young, the freshman, 1,124 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception. This is going to be an awesome game. Like I said, Ole Miss is averaging 635 yards of total offense, scoring 52.7 points per game. Alabama's averaging 46.5 points per game. These teams are going to fucking put up some points, dude. Also, be wary of the first quarter. So on the year, I believe Bama is outscoring their opponents 66-3 in the first quarter. Ole Miss is outscoring their opponents 42-7 in the first quarter, but they've played 1 less game. So it'll be interesting to see if either of these teams can get out to a super hot start. But this is one where you just have to bet the over and just have fun. Just fucking root for points. I love this bet. They're not on my card, but I'm riding with Ryan this week on both of these. This one for me, I'm going Las Vegas LAC over 51. Kind of a revenge over for me here. I'm still pissed off about last week, dude. I missed that fucking Kansas City Chargers over by half a point because their kicker misses an extra point. 30-24 the final instead of 31-24. Just heartbreaking. So this is my revenge. I think this goes over. So since 2020, the Las Vegas overs and Las Vegas Raiders games are 14-4-1, and primetime overs are 8-2 on the year. This is the Sunday night game, I believe. Am I right? It's a primetime game.
I believe so.
It's Monday. No, it's Monday. It's Monday night. It's Monday night because Sunday is Brady's return. Where they did the hello from the other side.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Chef's kiss. Bravo to whoever made that promo. So back to my game of the Monday night. I love these Monday night overs. I've hit on them I think the first couple weeks. I went away from it last week, and of course, it didn't work out for me. So I'm back. Las Vegas overs, like I said, 14-4-1 since 2020. Chargers overs are only 9-10 since 2020, which you don't love that number, but their offense is so explosive. I just feel like they could just turn it on at any moment's notice. Mike Williams is really connecting with Justin Herbert right now. Obviously, Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler don't hurt. I love the over here at 51. I think Las Vegas is still the number one offense in the NFL as well. If not number one, they're top 3. So that is my over. Let's move to our unders of the week. Life's too short to bet the under, but we do it once a week. Anyway, Ryan, you go ahead and start us off.
All right, my under, I'm going to go Broncos, Ravens, under 44.5. This year, Broncos unders are 3-0, Ravens 2-1. So combined 5-1 for their unders this year. Kind of a low point total, but Denver's defense is incredible. I don't think Baltimore is going to be putting up that many points. Obviously, they had that incredible win with the kick last week against the Lions, but I'm pretty sure that game went under as well. So, I'm going to go with the under here. I think Denver holds them to a very little amount of points this week.
I think Lamar's a little banged up too. So I also like the under. These are two really good defenses. I mean, both of them like to run the ball a lot. I mean, especially the Ravens, but I mean, Melvin Gordon's having a pretty good year for the Broncos so far. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater, we've talked about him on this show, his against the spread record. This is essentially a pick'em game. If you look
it is
at the line, I think it's only a half. It's like, I don't remember I think Baltimore's minus a half. So essentially just take the money line there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also like this under. I mean, Denver's defense is just playing at a whole nother level this year. My under, I am going the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints under 42. The Giants stink. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're just bad. They've lost a couple guys for the year. Jason Garrett's a terrible offensive coordinator. I could go on. The Saints are back at home for the first time back in the Superdome. That has to be like a mortal lock of the century. First game back in the Superdome after the hurricane. What I went against the numbers on Giants games last year for their I took the over, or not last year, last week. I had the over of ATL and the Giants. It was like 47.5. I said, the record is this, but I'm not buying it. Unders in Giants games are 15-4 since last season, and they're 11-10 in New Orleans games. I'm going to not make that mistake again. I'm going with the numbers. That 15-4 number is just making me salivate. I know 42 doesn't seem like it's super high, but I'm going to ride that trend and see if it works out for me this time. So the Giants and New Orleans under 42. Let's go to our locks of the week. Ryan, you better lock it up.
Lock it up. I got my lock. I'm going to go Bucs -7 at New England. Obviously, we just talked about the promo, Brady returning. Tampa Bay and New England both 1-2 against the spread, but Tom Brady is coming back to Foxborough, and he's coming off of a tough loss against the Rams. So, I think he's just going to go off this week. Plus, I think he's going to break his yardage record.
Probably, whatever, like the million records he fucking
holds. So he's going to have one of the games of his life. I know he wants to in front of the New England fans. There's obviously no bad blood there, but it's his home. Mm-hmm. So he's going to come in. I think they win by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, New England just really didn't look good this past week either against the Saints. And I know everybody was like, oh, take the Patriots. And, I didn't really understand that. I ended up avoiding the game. I wish I would have rode with my boy Jameis, who had another just fucking incredible viral video where DeMario Davis is in the huddle. He goes, look at the man beside you. And fucking Jameis
gets in his face.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, he is like unintentionally the funniest dude in America. I love Jameis Winston, but I love the Bucs in this game as well. -7. Everybody's super high on Mac Jones. And I don't think he has a lot of help at receiver. That has to be something. They need to get Mac Jones more weapons on the outside. But I think the Bucs bounce back in a big way here. I don't know if Gronk is still out. That's a homecoming for him too as well. That's a storyline to watch. But I love it. Bucs -7 is Ryan's lock of the week. I am going with the Tennessee Titans. -6.5 at the New York Jets at -115 odds there. Tennessee had that rough start to the year, giving up 38 points at home to Arizona, but they go on the road in week 2 and beat who I think is a good Seattle team, and then they take care of business again in week 3. So I am riding with them. I mean, any chance I get to bet against the Jets, you bet I am going to jump all over that opportunity. I think 6.5 here is a disrespectful line for the Tennessee Titans. I think they can easily win by a touchdown. So, they are 2-1 against the spread so far in 2021, and the Jets are 6-13 against the spread since 2020. They just don't cover. So I am going to take the Titans here, and I think they rout New York and Zach Wilson. So we have our 3 general picks for each of us, and then we are going to drop our Maloney's Moneyline Week 4 parlay. We once again want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for watching or listening, wherever it be. Make sure you follow us on social media at The Brew Party on Twitter and Instagram. That's where we do drop our graphics for all of our picks, so you can follow those along. And then on our Twitter, we tweet out those results and keep you updated on our records from week to week. And then you can make sure to like and follow us on Facebook at The Brew Party Podcast. Why don't you go ahead and throw us a subscription on YouTube while you're at it, youtube.com/The Brew Party. Want to thank everybody again for the support. So let's get into our general picks. Ryan, I will let you go first. Another one that I love. My guy, Red Ras, thank you so much. It is a good Seattle team, but they sucking. Love it right now. Okay, so back to our picks. Ryan, this is a pick that I love from you. Another one I don't have on my card because you stole it from me. I'm just kidding. I'm going to bet it as well. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go Arkansas plus 17.5 at Georgia. I think Arkansas has looked phenomenal this year. And, I mean, yes, Georgia is a very, very, very good team. They're blowing teams out, but everybody's kind of riding them because they beat Clemson. But Clemson sucks. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's facts. They're not great. Beat
Clemson 10-3 too.
Yeah, exactly. So I think 17.5 is a lot of points for an Arkansas team that absolutely needs to win this game. Mm-hmm. They've looked great. So, I think Georgia probably ends up winning this game, but I think it's going to be a really good game. And 17.5 just seems like a kind of a disrespectful line again. It's just a lot of points for this big matchup.
I think it is too. So I got one word for you, Ryan. Yes, sir. The Pitt boss, Sam Pittman and the Razorbacks. So they've got a couple things on their side here. I think it's a little bit of an advantage to them. They have to go to Georgia. Obviously, it's never easy playing in Athens, right? But it is an 11 a.m. kickoff. It's an early kickoff for them. Maybe you get Georgia a little sluggish, a little sleepy. The fans not super into it, not drunk enough, not as they would like to be. They didn't get enough time to tailgate for that early start. This game is like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, in my opinion. You have the number one rush defense in the country in Georgia. They're only allowing 63 yards on the ground per game. You have the number one rush offense in the SEC in Arkansas. They're putting up, I think, like 260 on the ground. They have KJ Jefferson is at quarterback, who's like a Cam Newton type almost. He's got that big body. He can run. Not as good with his arm as Cam was, but he definitely can move. If they get him out into space, that could be trouble. I love Arkansas here, plus 17.5. This is a huge game. You said it's a must win. We mentioned earlier, this is a power shift week in the SEC. Sam Pittman, the Arkansas head coach, also is a former Georgia assistant, their former O-line coach. He knows, he went up against this defense, the same Kirby Smart defense for a few years while he was in Georgia. He knows how they work, but this is going to just be an incredible football game. I cannot wait to watch. I was going to get tickets to see the Illinois play Charlotte at 11, but then I realized what the slate was. We have Arkansas, Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss, and Notre Dame and Cincy. I was like, yeah, I'll be on my couch at home this Saturday. So let's move on to, thank you, my guy Tom Scavetta checking in. Let's go ND. We know he is a big Irish guy, big Irish fan. We talked about that on our episode of From the Stands this week. So my pick, I'm staying in college football, Liberty money line at UAB plus 104. I love Malik Willis. He has, I think, 10 touchdowns through the air so far this year. He also no interceptions. I think he's also their leading rusher. He's got 5 touchdowns on the ground. This is a meaningful game for UAB. This is their first game in their brand new stadium. I think it's called Protective Stadium or something in Birmingham, which is a big thing for them. But I love Liberty. I love Hugh Freeze's team. They're 3-1 on the year. UAB does come in 3-1 as well. But I think Malik Willis just bounces back from a rough game at Syracuse. I think he takes over. He had a late fumble there that kind of cost them the game. But I don't fault them for going on the road and losing to an ACC opponent as a Power 5. UAB's a great program. After that whole hiatus they took, they won like 3 straight division titles. I think 2 conference titles as well. This is going to be a great group of 5 football game. I'm taking Liberty money line. I see it at plus 104. And I just think they're the better team. I'm going to jump all over that. Your next pick, my friend.
All right, I'm going to go Iowa minus 3.5 at Maryland.
Tonight, our first Friday game.
Oh, is it tonight? I didn't even know. I should have probably left it off, but that's all right.
It's okay. No, it's all right.
I had to pick this because I hate Iowa, but Maryland is 2-15 against the spread versus ranked opponents since 2016.
Oh,
2-15. So seems like can't lose here.
Yeah, so
I had to take it.
Iowa's offense hasn't been that great. I don't love Petrus, but their defense is just incredible this year. Talia Tagovailoa, believe it or not, is the number 2 overall rated quarterback by PFF so far this year. Maryland offense, their offense is, when they're right, they're right. They've got a lot of guys on the outside with speed that, that if Talia can, throw the ball deep, take a couple shots, I don't know how they're going to be able to do that against this Iowa offense. I don't hate this pick. I do hate the Iowa Hawkeyes, but Iowa minus 3.5. That is a Friday night game, Friday night Big Ten action. I think it starts at 7 tonight, but that's good, Ryan. We've got games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday for the people. Look at that, it's a little 4-day stretch. Maloney's money line, week 4. So I am going back to the NFL with my next pick. This is Arizona and the Los Angeles Rams over 54.5. This has potential to be one of the games of the week, if not the game of the week in the NFL. 2 NFC West powerhouses, both undefeated. The Rams have looked like unbeatable at certain points this year. Arizona's got a couple quality wins as well. This over is, 54.5. That's high, but I think these two teams are, I think they're two of the best offenses in the NFL. They're two, when we think of just like offenses that can just score like that, obviously it's like Kansas City, right? I feel like LA is getting there. They're been incredible so far this year, where they just seem like they can score at the drop of the hat. Arizona, I say it every week, you forget they have AJ Green as their number 2 receiver. Rondell Moore, the rookie out of Purdue, has been incredible. This is going to be a great game. I expect there to be a lot of points scored. I believe overs are 3-0 so far in LA Rams games in 2021. I'm riding that trend. I'm looking forward to keep going. I'm looking for this to be a great football game on Sunday. We'll go to your last pick, then mine, and then our parlay, and then we will get the fuck out of here, Ryan.
All right, my last pick, I'm going to go Saints -7 versus the Giants. You said it earlier, Saints' first game back at the Superdome, and the Giants are not great. Saints 2-1 against the spread this year, Giants 1-2. I think James is going to have a great game, and they win this game by more than a touchdown here.
Yeah, that factor, even with the Superdome being on fire or whatever last week, I think this game just means a lot, not only to the Saints, but the city of New Orleans. I mean, we saw it years ago after Katrina, right? How meaningful that whole season, not just that game, but that whole season ended up being for that city. It's unfortunate. I know I've got a lot of Giants friends that we are going to have to be going against here, but I love Jameis Winston. The Giants they're banged up. They lost their quarterback of their defense and Blake Martinez for the year. They're one of their best offensive linemen, Gage, I think, or Cage, or something like that. He's also out for the year. This is going to be it's going to be an uphill battle. Like I said, I took the under in this game earlier. Ryan is taking the Saints -7, and I love the pick. I think the Giants unfortunately drop to 0-4 after this week. So my last pick is Fresno State -11 at Hawaii. You know what they say, Ryan? You never bet against Hawaii on island, but I just can't. I can't not. I don't trust the Rainbow Warriors here. I stayed up to like 3 a.m. a couple weekends ago watching them against San Jose State because I had Hawaii money line. And they had like 2 or 3 trips to the red zone that would have won them the game, and they end up not converting on fourth and goal, like both times. Just absolutely killer revenge game for me personally here. Also, the Bulldogs are legit. Fresno State has a legit Heisman candidate in Jake Haener at quarterback. He's got 1,800 yards and 15 touchdowns in 5 games. They went on the road to UCLA and won. They gave Oregon all they could handle in Eugene and ended up covering the spread there. They're 4-1 on the year. They're 4-1 against the spread. I love the Bulldogs in this game. I think they easily win. I think they easily cover the 11. And also a nugget here. I don't think fans are allowed at Hawaii games yet. So that's a big deal. It's a 10 p.m. Central start for this game. So it looks like I'm going to be up till 3 a.m. again. We're going to be riding it. I love the Bulldogs here. They are one of my favorite group of 5 teams on the year. Jake Haener keeps putting up these numbers. He has a legit chance to be a Heisman finalist if they stay ranked throughout the year. So those are our 16 picks for week 3. But before we get out of here, we have a little parlay for the people. Maloney's money line week 4 parlay. So Ryan and I each selected 2 games, 1 college, 1 NFL. These are games that have not featured on our cards already. So Ryan, I'm going to let you talk about your 2 picks first, and then I will tell. Well, here, I'll just say it. I'll just say the parlay. You tell me why you like your 2 picks. I'll tell you why I like mine. So it's LSU -3, Tulane -3, the LA Rams -4.5, and the Washington football team -1.5. That's plus 1168 odds there. So if you were to put $100 on that, it's $1,100 right there. And I think it actually has or I don't want to jinx it or anything, Ryan, but you said it. You like this parlay. Tell me why you like LSU and the Rams so much.
All right, I picked LSU -3 because Death Valley night game. I just feel like that's a huge game for them. Would love to go to a night game at Death Valley one time, but
that's a bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
sure.
Obviously very tough to play there, and I mean, I just don't trust Auburn. I don't trust Bo Nix. I think LSU's not look great. I love Coach O, but unfortunately, don't think he's going to have a job after this season. But I think LSU wins this game by a touchdown. And then I picked Rams -4.5. I mean, you talked about it earlier. Their offense is looking incredible. I've said it a few times. I think they're definitely a Super Bowl contender this year. Defense is amazing. I mean, that Cooper Kupp and Stafford connection is becoming one of the best in the NFL.
Breakfast, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they win this game by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I like both of those picks. Go Tigers! Obviously, I want to see Coach O, like a lifetime LSU coach. But I mean, people are starting to get restless around there, and it's crazy because they won the national championship 2 years ago. But yes, so Auburn, I'd never trust Auburn. Bo Nix sucks. Harsin, new coach there. They are the ranked team coming to Death Valley, but I love LSU here. Tulane and the Washington football team were my picks. I think Tulane is better than their 1-2 record. They gave Oklahoma all they could handle in Norman. They played one other.
They got blown out by Ole Miss.
They did get blown out by Ole Miss, but I think Ole Miss is way better than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Definitely.
But they lost to somebody else but it was close. It was like really close. Hold on. A terrible radio. Of course, we had to sneak that in here at the end of the show. Tulane. Okay, so they're playing East Carolina, who's also 2-2, but they are okay. Okay, I got what I need here. Tulane is 2-2 against the spread on the year. They did just lose to UAB 28-21 last week, but I mean, UAB, I believe, is a pretty damn good group of 5 team. Their only win on the year is a 69-20 win over Morgan State. But like I said, they went on the road at number 2 Oklahoma. Well, they were number 2 at the time, only lost by 5. They went to Ole Miss. Lost 61-21. That's a big L right there. But East Carolina is just not on the level of these teams. And I will be taking Tulane -3. Well, we will be taking Tulane -3 on the parlay. I think they can easily win this by a field goal. And then I'm taking the football team. They're playing the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta got their first win of the year over the Giants last week. But they had to fight and claw their way to a 17-14 victory. The football team hasn't looked great on the year. They are actually 0-3 against the spread in 2021. That changes this week. This -1.5, I think they can easily win by a field goal over the Atlanta Falcons. I don't trust the Falcons defense. Washington's defense has been not great this year either. Obviously, they still have Heineke back there at quarterback, but I think this is a big game for Washington. This is a must-win game for Ron Rivera's team, and I think they get it done, and they secure our parlay for us at plus 1168. That is our Maloney's money line parlay, the first one. Maybe we keep doing this each week or bring it back whenever we want. But I love it. I think it's a good idea. LSU -3, Tulane -3, LA Rams -4.5, and the Washington football team -1.5 at plus 1168 odds. Before we get out of here, just want to remind you one more time of our records. We are currently 29, 22, and 1 overall. I am 14 and 12, and Ryan is 15, 10 and 1. We are looking to bring you more winners. Ryan is riding high, 8-0 last week for the kid, to bring that record way up and, of course, move past me and embarrass me on my own show because he loves to do that. This is Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party Podcast, episode 78 is here. You can find this. We'll be posting this. Jesus Christ. If you did not catch us live, You can catch the replay on our YouTube, on our Twitter, on our Facebook. We're on Twitter at The Brew Party. We're on Facebook at The Brew Party Podcast. And we're on YouTube, youtube.com/The Brew Party. As always, you can listen to the podcast if you prefer to just not look at my ugly face. I understand. Ryan's a cutie, though, so you're missing out there. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, all that good stuff. Just go to www.thebrewparty.com. Our merch is still available, just like this beautiful shirt that I'm wearing right here. Kind of hard to see with my microphone in the way. Go to our Twitter page, twitter.com/thebrewparty. It's our pinned tweet. We've got baseball tees, t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, all that good stuff. Great little Christmas gift for the holidays are coming up. Don't miss out on that if you haven't already. If you'd like to support the show in another way, you can donate to the party. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/thebrewparty. Donate $5, buy us a brew. We will chug it on the episode live for you. It'll be an official sponsored brew by whatever your name is, if you decide to do that. So, like I said, I'm Andy Hopper. He's Ryan Maloney. Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party podcast, week 4 of season 2. We've got 16 picks. We've got starting tonight, starting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We will update you on the records. Hopefully, another undefeated week for Maloney and an undefeated week for me. 16-0 sounds pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. All right. We are out of here. Thank you to everybody that tuned in live. Thank you to everybody listening or watching the replay. This is the Brew Party podcast. We're out of here.